Path Media. I was a minimum wage movie theater usher that made good and became a top earner in my network marketing company. Now, after 16 plus years in the profession, I'm finally teaching myself how to leverage the internet with online marketing and social media marketing to continue to grow and expand my business. My name is Ronnie Cruz, and this is Path of the Network Marketer.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about overwhelm. That's right, overwhelm. It's been on my mind. Well, not so much on my mind, but it's definitely something I've been feeling a lot lately. I've talked about the sheer amount of content I'm producing and publishing right now. As of this recording, there's a podcast episode every day. There's a video in conjunction to that. So there's a video version that gets released on YouTube a week later. Then there is the short form of those things, those micro assets, right? Those micro pieces of content where I cut up the video podcast into short form reels. And then there's the lives. I'm doing a live every day on Facebook right now. My original goal was to go 45, but I'm well over that at this point. And then there's the masterclass that's happening next week, February 1st through March 1st, February 27th through March 1st. See, I can't even keep the date straight. And then, of course, there's the future rollouts with the paid courses and the book that I have planned or actually books, plural, that I have planned for this year. So there's definitely a lot on my plate. Oh yeah, and there's also Path of the Jedi, my second podcast, which unfortunately has suffered a little bit. I've definitely kept up with it, but it's I can't say that I'm pleased with the level of quality and content that I'm currently producing for that particular show, given that so much of my attention and effort is going into everything else. So there's a lot outgoing. And then, of course, there's my network marketing business, et cetera, et cetera. So, and that's kind of how I like it, right? I love pushing myself, and being well outside of my comfort zone because I grow, right? Like that's where the growth happens. And I know that if I'm able to kind of do this for a long enough period of time, all the stuff that I have on my plate becomes second nature and becomes habit. Of course, I'll eventually build out a team to help me manage all this stuff, right? But, for where most of us are, especially if you're listening to the show, we don't have those resources yet, right? I'm just starting my journey into this new phase in my career. So I don't necessarily have a working budget that I want to devote to staffing, right? I want the business to pay for itself. So yeah, overwhelm can easily happen, and whatever version of that looks like for you. I mean, whether you have a full-time career and then you're trying to build a side hustle, or you're trying to build your own business so that you can eventually leave your full-time career, right? Creating a new career path for yourself, on top of family obligations. I just came back from my parents' house. If you guys are privy to that on the show, I let you know. There's so much in each of our lives that we have to kind of keep in the air. So many plates. That's what it is. So many plates that we have to keep spinning and keep in the air. That sometimes we can get really, really overwhelmed. And so, what I want to let you know, number one, it's normal, and it happens. Number two, what I want you to make sure then when you feel this way is just pause and take a breath, and then ask yourself, okay, is everything that I'm taking on right now, everything that I'm doing, am I prioritizing the most important things? And are the things that I'm prioritizing, are those the things that are the most important to me, right? All right, are those goals and those visions that I've set for myself important enough for me to experience this level of discomfort? And if it's all green light for after that, then really all you have to do is just, again, take a breath, pause, and address the thing that's immediately in front of you, right? Like the next thing that's immediately pressing that you need to take care of that, right? And then the next day, do the same thing. and then the next day do the same thing after that. Again, it's important to do this with a good idea of what your priorities are, and whether or not those priorities are really important to you, to be uncomfortable for a little while. But then it's just a matter of just tackling one thing at a time, tackling the thing that's immediately in front of you at any given time. That's that way. If you start doing this, and when you're feeling overwhelmed, that feeling of overwhelm becomes manageable, because you'll start to feel recentered, you'll start to feel realigned, and you'll start to feel that you're actually making a dent, in the things, towards the things that you're trying to achieve. Right? So if you're feeling overwhelmed, again, it's normal. There isn't really any real balance per se, because you got to push yourself out of balance a little bit if you're trying to achieve new things. So just understand that, you want to make sure that your priorities are all correct and everything that you're doing is actually things that matter to you. And then just tackle the thing that's immediately in front of you. And then the next day do the same, and then the next day do the same. So that's what I do anyways, and it's worked thus far. And again, if you do it long enough, all of it eventually becomes a habit and second nature, just like all this content production and publishing that I'm doing right now. So, all right. Well, that's my message. Hope that helps. If you're experiencing any kind of overwhelm, there's actually a great community for you that's there to support you. It's designed to support you on your journey. Facebook.com/group/path of the network marketer. It's a community that's built out of this podcast, right? I definitely have more content there outside of this show. Have deeper conversations about some of this topic. So come join us. I mean, we support each other. It's not just me. It's not just a talking head. We support each other in that community. That's what it's meant to be, right? As we all grow and experience this entrepreneurial journey, we need as much support as we can get, and so that community is designed for that. So make sure you join our Facebook community. I'll leave the link in the show notes of this episode. So anyways, that's going to be it for today. More from me tomorrow. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.